I would like to discuss about the Aquarian breed. The Aquarian breed are children that are born around 1995 moving forward. The Aquarian age is going to really take headway around 2035, but the children are born around the time Microsoft came out, which was 1995, 1993. These children we call the Gen Z, the Gen Y, are the Aquarian breed. So it's generations that are going to be born into the technology age. So the technology age represents the awakening of human potential. And the artificial intelligence, which appears to be the headway for our future, is actually a sort of distraction. The real headway for human development is spiritual and emotional evolution that happens through human beings connecting to the technology within. So all shamans across this planet going to talk about a technology within. We can call this yogic science that has been practiced for thousands of years, that rise from Egypt. And we know Egyptians possessed a sort of a society that, especially in the matriarchal Egypt, so we think pre-dynastic Egypt, this society possessed a sort of inner knowledge on cosmology, geometry, astrology, and they were vibrating at a fifth dimensional resonance. They had sound therapy, dance therapy. They understood about the movement of the body, the Kundalini awakening. They understood about the chakras. They understood about the sort of soul's journey. And a lot of these ancient, we think of like indigenous people, we think about the ancient, even matriarchal cultures, a lot of them have access to inner technology. Even when we think of Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Black Madonna, we're thinking of Kuan Yin, Green Tara, White Buffalo Woman. These individuals possess a sort of technology of liberation, technology of empowerment. They've reached, we can call enlightenment, but it's really an emotional and spiritual upgrade that happens through their movement with the cosmos. And we can see that movement with the cosmos is like evolutionary astrology, where you're using your will, your determination, you're using your life force to really channel these celestial events for sort of reconstruction of you, or sort of healing of you, or a rehabilitation of you, or sort of a cleanse or a purification or detoxification that is very common terminology in the health and wellness industry. So all of this glandular system upgrade, all of this manifestation, affirmation, visualization, that's all about the inner technology. And artificial intelligence will not be discussing about that. It's very much a distraction, right? We think of this technology and the social media and how these younger generations are heavily influenced by all of these social media outlets in the way that there's a heavier sort of focus on a huge sort of focus, like a laser focus on someone's life, which it kind of takes out the imperfect quality that actually helps us to learn and to grow and to develop, right? Because there's this compare, compete, contrast, that there's this sort of perfection that if it's not met, we're very judgmental, very hard on ourselves. So there's this kind of harshness that we have because of this laser focus on everybody's lives and this attention, right? And this needing to be validated, while in the shamanistic mind, validation, you never really got it. You know, you would walk the long journey and you wouldn't get any sort of validation. You would get it within, right? You would get a sort of reassurance through your own bravery, through your own will. So courage, creativity, character, that's all experienced through the inner technology, where, you know, in life, we have desire, we have to build it up in us. We have to build the caliber, we have to build the self-esteem, we have to build the self-worth, the craftsmanship, the dedication, the resilience, perseverance, patience, tolerance, or the right friends, right? The vision, right? The visualization, the affirmation, the sort of victory mindset. That's the inner technology that we possess. That, you know, we think of technology is going, woo, it's flying high, it's way out of, it's like speed of light, and we are not even really in a speed of thought when it comes to the, you know, a direct line, a direct connection to the technology within our soul, and the empowerment and upliftment and the liberation and the kind of power of our own word and our own voice. Right, we're still in this battle with ourselves in many ways, with the negativity and the positivity, and kind of going back and forth with that for years for a lot of us. Well, the bravery is kind of the voice that says, I'm going to become my authentic self no matter what. Right, that kind of bravery. But in this heavily, you know, technology and everything's really focused on you, and, you know, information is just constantly just putting out, and some of it's jargon and miscellaneous and just kind of just trash, or just it's just subconscious wasteland. You know, we're more so confused, right, with the AI experience. So the real Aquarian age and the Aquarian breed, these children, these are starseed children. These are children who, you know, the inner technology is already inherited in them. It's just about developing it, right? It's there. It's just it has to be worked out. It has to be practiced, and it has to be utilized. And I think the sort of the starseed kids, and why they're called starseed, is because they have an inherent desire to want to connect with the earth. Environmentalists and humanitarians, they have a natural desire to serve, right? A lot of them are starseeds. They've come from other planetary systems, other realms, higher dimensions, and they've come to this time on this planet to rewrite history, and to, you know, bring in the new age, and to help us clear out, heal, and to evolve beyond habits, behaviors, decisions, relays, sort of relationship we had with the earth in the dark age, in the past time. So these starseed children, these generations, are very important, these coming ones, and the ones in the technology age, because they're going to be the ones that are going to nurse this inner technology, going to be to nurse it and to kind of resurrect it, and they have the decision to make, to use it, and to refocus their attention off of, you know, this constant technology that's being put out into the technology that they have within them, and to start to sort of rework it back into society, which we've done in ancient worlds and in probably other planets as well, as a way of sort of bringing the focus on emotional and spiritual evolution as the remedy and the medicine for these crises happening on this planet in many ways as a sort of indication of not change that needs to happen with technology, but change that needs to happen on a deep emotional, spiritual, psychological level when it comes to the way that we have relationship with this earth, with ourselves, and with each other. So the reconciliation has nothing to do with, I mean, technology is a sort of a platform to connect people internationally and to bring cultures together and to kind of bring oneness in the way that we can start to have compassion for diversity and start to kind of bridge the gaps and bring people together, right? Right? But the real reconciliation is with the technology we have within, the reconciliation with man and woman, mind and heart. Man is mind, woman is heart, reconciliation between the heart and the mind. And that's going to bring dignity, and that's going to bring self-esteem, self-worth. That's going to bring, a sense of enthusiasm for the future. Because there's a depression about the future, and then there's also an enthusiasm. And these starseed children, they're coming to this earth with the assistance of parents or assistance of community or assistance of teachers or wise ones, an elder system, which is something going to be reinstalled in many ways to really support the sort of quantum leaps and sort of expedite growth that we need to have on this planet. 'Cause, we don't have, just 80 years of just kind of doing whatever, and hopefully you'll figure it out, right? So that we can really bring about the human that sees themselves in high regard, that understands the alchemical force within them. We think of, the alchemical force, the magnetic force, the mind, body, spirit, the kind of kundalini awakening, the chakra, the ten body, that kind of esoteric, sort of mystical, yet there's a sort of metaphysical science to it all, right? Yogic science is an applied science, right? It brings a reconciliation between the heart and the mind, the woman, man and woman. And that's about the balance between matriarchal, which is inner technology, right? The soul as a technology, as a manifestation force, a visualization, affirmation, sort of empowering force. And then patriarchal, which is seeing me as an external technology, like a computer or a phone or a device or some sort of architectural design, external technology as being able, brain scans and being able to, the hospital equipments and these type of technologies that we have today, right? So there needs to be a balance, right? These technologies we have, will continue to have them, and they will continue to, go the speed of light, right? And new things and devices and 5G towers and these, up and coming, new architectural / technology engineered things, right? Artificial intelligence, very man-made. But the matriarchal is what the Aquarian breed is. It's about the balance. It's about the reconciliation where we can have outer technology, but we do need to know inner technology, and we do need to have a balance, and we do need to have a sort of integrity where both are not oppressing each other, not in opposition, not fighting each other in battle, because we know that's going to drain us all. But there's a sort of the matriarchal inner technology becomes the guiding force, the sort of dignity that brings sort of the checks and balances, right? Is the checks and balances. The matriarchal culture is seen as the judges, seen as the wise ones, seen as the elders, seen as the council, the high priestesses, the priests, the sort of the sorcerers, or just the wisdom holders that reveal to you evolution throughout planets, not just this planet, right? And that's why it's discredited and kind of not abolished in society, because in the patriarchal experiment, it was about very much trying to kind of, not really utilize the wisdom, just kind of utilize control and fear and power games to kind of get what you want. But we're understanding, yes, there needs to be control, order, right? Fear is a human, fear, but we need to have fear is kind of, it needs to be met with love. It needs to be transmuted. And then we know about these power games that we've played with each other throughout time and space. What does that do? It just leads to more chaos and more, resentment and more karma. It's like never-ending karma of I'm going to get you and you're going to get me and we're all going to get each other. And it's just the king kills off the old king, the new king get killed by the new king, and it's just that kind of karma. So, the Aquarian breed is the children, the star seeds that are going to kind of rehabilitate and nurse back a more sort of neutral position we have, where we're not so obsessed and like addicted to the technology, the external, where we're starting to work with our internal technology, starting to develop that, starting to, turn that on and starting to create quantum leaps and expedite growth with that. Because that's, psychic gifts, that's, astrology, cosmology, geometry, ability to be smart, ability to be genius, an ability to be very talented, very gifted, have craftsmanship, to have a certain caliber, certain mind stream where you can channel quite celestial energies that are very, very alchemical. And that's the kind of Aquarian breed. You can channel celestial information, not earthbound jargon information like that's on the news, because a lot of that is just, some of it's just subconscious trash, right? I'm talking about celestial, pure alchemical energies, and you can stream it through your mind, and your mind is cleaned, and it has a focus, has a direction, has projection, has a sort of higher vibrational resonance, has a sort of like a Christmas tree, right? In the way that the many aspects of it are being activated and are being sort of equalized and being harmonized through your voice, your articulation, through your movement, through your sort of, your femme consciousness, regardless if you're a man or woman. That really gets you a sort of creative level of integrity where you can really bring great, abundance or wealth, success, but also it's in reconciliation with nature. It's in a sort of dignity with nature. And that's the kind of the sort of movement in the future that's going to be the next challenge that we're already having to face. Is the technology needs to be in a rhythmic intelligence with nature. If it's not, it doesn't fit, it doesn't belong, it needs to be remodeled, it needs to be even removed. Because the matriarchal and the patriarchal, it's not, I'm going to suppress you or I'm going to dominate you. It cannot be like that. The sort of opposition, control, power struggle. The Aquarian breed is about the heart and the mind and reconciliation. I can feel deeply, I can think wisely, and I have a certain success while I am also in a certain success in my own humanity, in my own environment. And I think the only way for us as Aquarian breed to really bring about that is we need to use the inner technology first before we can expand and get into, we think of the Aquarian age. We need to use the inner technology to heal the karmas, the traumas, reparenting ourselves, redefining and reinventing and reforming our inner physiology epigenetically, DNA sequence, mind wave, the frequencies that are in our body, the food that we're taking in, the lifestyle, the environments, the kind of, paying attention to ourselves, becoming intuitive, right? Really dropping into ourselves and excavating some real secrets and truths to, what is important to us and the virtues of ourselves, right? And the kind of the sort of I would say royalty that we have within the sort of wisdom that comes through the lining with your sort of evolutionary astrology, connecting to the cosmology, connecting to the geometry of your sacredness, or your you having a very defined inward reality, which a lot of people don't. Very defined, I have the car, I have this, I have that, but not an inward reality. It's like, once you get past a certain age, it's like, there's like nothing there. There's no sense of expansion out into the universe, or no sense of expansion out into the deep earth. It's just kind of like, I'm just bored inside. And that's the Aquarian breed, is about as much expansion you want to have without in your external world, and whatever car, or whatever things that you think you want, and the success. You need to have just as equal expansion inside, or you're gonna flop over. You're gonna kind of flop over because you're not gonna be stable. So as much expansion you want with external technology and that kind of, movement of the evolution of the human next gadget, but you need to have just as much of inner expansion. You need to be able to connect to the deep earth, your ancestors, and you need to be able to connect to the cosmos and these time space type of regions of your own mind. So I think the struggle with the mind in the Aquarian age, the mind, and why there's mind, mental mind kind of issues, is because of we're needing to work on the mind. We're needing to expand the mind. We're needing to, if our technology is going to be booming and we're going to have 5G towers and all that kind of stimulation, we're going to have to need a mind that's going to be just as evolved, right? As just as sort of awakened. And we're going to need the mind, the physiology, to be able to process and to be able to connect and to be able to repair, right? In order for the mind to really repair, we have to put in this soothe. We have to soothe it, meditate it. We have to, we have to unlock it. We have to, clear out the whatever we don't need in it. We have to clean out the trash, the junk, right? There is such thing as mental junk that we have to clean out, right? Because, that, and then having all of the pressure from the technology age, our mind is just not going to take it. Our body's it's gonna inject the stress into the body, and then our glandular system is gonna get weak because, right? So, the mind is directly connected to the heart, and how we are allowing the heart to experience the sort of the alchemical force of our word, of our affirmation, of our voice. It's so subtle and can be very simple, but we're taught to be external, and if I don't get this done the other, then I'm just very moody and I'm pouty and I'm angry, right? And that rigidness, when we start to really clear that out with the heart, and really look at whatever jealousies, envies, whatever anger and resentment, frustration and regret and guilt, and really look at it from a place of liberation and a place of discovery, and really trying to uncover how we can really be an embodiment of healing and become a healer to our own lives, that is the Aquarian age. That's the Aquarian breed right there. A lot of these kids want to be of service. A lot of them. And a lot of them are very genius in the way that they're not going to settle for old ways in which we've done in the past that is not working today. In the way that they are very keen on building up a reality within themselves where they are helpful to nature. I'm not talking about helpful just to, their friend groups that are just posting on social media. I'm talking about helpful to nature, helpful to animals, that kind of helpful to their natural ways of life. People are going to be drawn to that. People are going to want that. People are going to be hungry for that, because this technology, external technology, is not doing it. People want to. The Aquarian breed is aligned with the Aquarian breed is aligned with the inner technology, is the soul, is the mind, is the body coming together in this great grand revelation where I'm starting to let my human condition, the human setup, the human experiences to not define me, to shape me, but to be a part of my kind of evolutionary progress and my free will choice, and a part of my free will sort of challenge to my learning, to my growing. So there's a sense of I do not grow just being on social media, posting, selfie, for 10 years doing that. Is that going to get me anywhere? No. There's a sense of growth that has been, people don't feel anymore. It's because the emotional and spiritual growth comes from courage, character, creativity. That's nature, that's natural, that's authenticity, that's, going into the earth with a sense of bravery, going into the earth to hunt for spiritual energy, to hunt for your growth, to build up the determination, the perseverance, the patience, the tolerance, these kind of virtues that make you very wise in yourself. So that it's not just 10 years of posting selfies on Instagram and then you wake up one day and realize that didn't give me any experience of my wisdom. It didn't give me experience of the movement of energy, the clarity of my mind, the sort of reinvention of who I am, the kind of discovery of my relationship with people. Right? The real Aquarian breed is I want to bring self-worth, self-esteem so that I can be able to discover a relationship, life partner that is going to give me synergistic radiance. I want to discover articulation of myself that makes me very just in this, I can channel this flow of myself without shame and judgment and fear and feel very stable in it. Right? I want to manifest, visualize, affirm in a way that I'm trusting myself, and I'm starting, creating space for my healing and for myself to receive what is for my highest good, and learning what's not working and what is working, and the sort of authenticity that comes from me really bringing into my life a vision, a creativity that brings the fertility, the richness of my inner wonder and joy into the intensity of its fulfillment. And then that nourishment, that nutrients that is inside of me makes me unique. It makes me different because I have not only the whatever information I can grab on my phone or this technology, this device, I have a sort of shamanistic cultivation of the dimensions of Earth and this sort of, space-time celestial regions that is really our original technology, that's really the soul's kind of coming into the body, that kind of soul's embodiment. So we talk about a lot of soulless people, heartless people. It's because the soul is not experiencing its technology in the body. When the soul's in the body, it's using the technology of the mind and the heart, the reconciliation between man and woman to create. When we're not really creative, we don't really feel that soul in the body. We feel artificial, we feel fake, we feel imposters of ourselves, because we know that creativity is not, it's not expansive. It's not from an inner place, from a authentic, sort of soulful, wide and deep, or not wide and deep, up, sort of expansive in the sky and then deep into the earth. And I think that's why the jealousy and the envy and the victim and the irresponsibility and the selfish and I need all the attention is because we're trying to cope with the fact that we're not really getting energy moving. We're not really getting growth, right? We're not really getting real growth, which is emotional and spiritual, which is, this richness of thought that we're putting out into the world. We could put out any thought and word, this technology, put out anything you want. Information is overload. But richness of thought, that's very, very rare. Very, very rare. But when it's full of these cosmic fertility, this sort of meaning and this philosophy and this sort of study and this real courage, character, and creativity through our own application, participation, and something that has a technology of ancient splendor and wonder and joy and freedom. That sovereignty of the mind is the Aquarian breed in its success and in its victory and in its, overcoming the mental clashing and overload and breakdown and all of that, just not feeling good in the body, not feeling belonging, not feeling fitting in, not feeling there's a place. Sovereignty of the mind is that kind of rich thought that we're projecting into intention that gives us a sort of a unique space on this earth that is a reflection of the how the technology we use, either affirmation, visualization, meditation, to really seek, as we're always seeking through technology and social media for something. This is a seeking inward, the seeking of the stars, cosmology, astrology, geometry for the shamanistic view of our soul's sort of alchemical progression in this life. Because this is a very significant life of interstellar kind of revelation that will create an ascension, that will create a sort of sacredness, a holiness, a sort of liberation to really break through the kind of limitations, the kind of whatever restraints that we've had, whatever holding us back, and I'm not good enough and I'll just settle for this. That's the Aquarian breed. It's not just settling this mediocrity, lying to myself, faking it, and not committing, and irresponsible, and hogwash, and half-assing it, and not connecting to myself, and mindless. It's the Aquarian breed is very much in that Nikola Tesla. I want to channel the cosmos. I want to break through limiting thought. I want to see the imagination. I want to see the visualization. I want to see the creativity of my own visualization, affirmation, and manifestation come into the richness of thought that I can share as a technology of articulation, technology of voice, of movement, of expression that gives people the same thing our technologies do today. Gives people an activation, gives people an inspiration, gives people a connection to a knowledge or a connection to information. But this information I'm connecting to them to is pure information on the effects, the inward rich thought has on bringing out the grandness of one's capability and ability to realize choices, possibilities that can really shape them, rewrite them, redefine them, reinvent them in ways that is absolutely healing, freeing, and absolutely going to get them into their destiny, the kind of the free will choice that puts them on a path of their wisdom, of their knowledge, of their sacredness, of their sense of I am that I am, that kind of confidence and that sort of a surety regardless of the uncertainty around them.